Also joining us this afternoon, House Justice Committee member and Bicol Saro Party List Representative, Congressman Terry Ridon. Welcome back to Storycon, Congressman Ridon.
Ay, magandang hapon. Maraming salamat sa pag-imbita.
Good afternoon, sir.
Magandang hapon, Kong.
That was a marathon hearing yesterday, Congressman Ridon. What was your assessment?
I think we have established probable cause over unexplained wealth and silent violations yesterday. Absolutely overwhelming showing of probable cause over the 6.7 billion in total transactions of the Duterte Carpio couple.
Kong, meron pa ba mga susunod na buntot yung usapin ng unexplained wealth or bagong chapter naman yung susunod na hearing, totally different?
Tatapusin lang yung usapin dun sa BIR kasi ano yung nakabitin eh. We deferred action for next week dyan po sa unsealing po ng box, but I'm quite sure we will unseal it next week. I reject the position of the BIR na hindi ho yan pwedeng buksan even given yung provision na binabanggit nila kasi like what I stated, Congress isn't requesting the BIR to give the information. It is a subpoena. It is a compulsory process. The provision that they were stating is different. Yan po yung parang upon request daw ng Congress during for a matter in aid of legislation, in executive session daw po. Pero ano yun, that is a completely different provision. So ito po is being done in exercise of a constituent power. No, yung impeachment proceeding.
The provision they're talking about is Section 20A of the National Internal Revenue Code.
Yes.
And there are some lawmakers, some of your colleagues are saying that it doesn't specify, that the tax records can only be open in aid of legislation. And since that hearing was not in aid of legislation, hindi daw pwede. How do you think this is going to play out? Are you confident? I mean, I guess you want to open the box, but are you confident you're going to get there?
I think we'll get there kasi alam po ninyo, pagka hindi ho in-unseal today, even if it crosses into trial, it's not gonna get unsealed. Kasi if we will apply that same provision, hindi ho yung ganun. Kaya nga ang sinasabi ko, hindi yan applicable in impeachment proceedings. Diba? They have to honor the subpoena, and they did honor the subpoena, and included in that subpoena is also the unsealing of the documents. Kasi pagka tawid sa trial, anong sasabihin ng BIR? Your Honor, this is not in aid of legislation. Di ba? So we still cannot unseal it. Di ba? So that basically defeats the cause of justice. Di ba?
Sir,
At saka,
sabi
di ba, Kong, sui generis ang impeachment eh. No? Sui generis eh. Ibig sabihin, yung pagsabpina nyo ay merong backup yan ng power eh. Ng power hindi lamang ng Congress, kundi nung proseso ng impeachment. So, kung halimbawa, hindi pa rin papayag yung BIR na unseal yan, ano magiging recourse nyo?
I don't think it's for the BIR to actually even debate with us. It is just for Congress to decide next week to seal or unseal. So, irrelevant na po yung BIR on that decision. It is a decision that will be made by the House Committee on Justice to seal or unseal next week.
Sir, palayo ko lang yung sabi nyo kanina na absolutely overwhelming yung evidence that would show probable cause of unexplained wealth. The VP's supporters, the VP's camp actually is making the case na yung transactions involving the time when she was the vice president, maliit lang ang galaw ng pera. And yung malaking galaw ng pera were not in the time when she was vice president. I think that was the time she was mayor. And then vice mayor of Davao City. Anong tingin niyo magiging bearing nun kung may ganung paghihimay doon sa impeachment case?
Alam niyo, that particular defense doesn't make sense kasi yung net worth discourse necessarily includes a look back to 2007. Di ba? So justifying yung pong net worth and comparing it to everything else justifies a look back to 2007 as well or 2006 as well, di ba? Para makita ho talaga natin, okay, yan talaga inabot ng pera niya. Okay, yan yung inabot ng mga transactions niya. So, ano yun? Hindi ho yung nag-make ng sense, no? Kailangan ho talaga magkaroon ng look back para makita natin ano ba yung total volume of transactions that had been undertaken from then up until 2024.
Yes, sir.
Kasi,
Yes, sir.
kasi supposedly, yan yung yung net worth, 88 million, should be the reflection of the actual wealth of the Vice President. Di
Yes,
ba?
sir. I understand, sir, the need to look back. But my question has to do with with the legal bearing of the numbers when it comes to the time when she was the vice president na.
Ay, hindi. Oo nga. Pero we will still have to contend with the current most latest SALN. Di ba? So for anyone to explain the most latest SALN, you have to do a look back to everything before, di ba?
Yeah.
That is the same logic of looking into the banking transactions from 2024 back to 2007. Para ibig sabihin, apples to apples yung comparison na, okay, magkaiba talaga. But even, sige, okay na yan. But granting, pag-usapan na natin yung depensa nila, 2022 to 2024. They gave a number, I think around 60 million. Hindi ba?
Yeah, mga ganun.
Sige. 88 million in net worth hindi ba?
Yeah.
Paano mag-aabot yung 60 billion plus everything else in that SALN? Di sobra pa rin yun. Hindi ba?
Yeah,
So
actually,
how does it actually help the Vice President? I don't think it helps the Vice President.
I noticed that whilst the AMLAC Executive Director Ronel Buenaventura was reading every line of the transactions, you would stop him after to, put on the record her SALN for that year. The 88.5 million pesos that you're talking about is her declared net worth for 2024. That is the highest amount she's ever declared. But of course, yung AMLAC records show that there were 6.77 billion pesos that flowed through her and her husband's accounts in the past 20 years. And yet, she issued a statement today saying that all her assets and wealth were properly declared and supported by documents. Is it possible at all that may mga nasa ibang dokumento yon?
Yes, kasama doon
wala.
sa tanong ni Reg Kong ay ang sinasabi niya ay nagamit lang, na weaponize lang ang AMLAC dito sa investigasyon na ito. Kaya yun yung pinag-uusapan sana namin kanina na baka pa hindi ganun kadali na mamanipulate ang AMLAC. Pero yung kanyang letter na sagot, basically yun ang ini-imply.
Alam po ninyo, mahirap talaga ipaliwanag. Ganito na lang. 6.7 billion total transactions. O sige, wag na natin pag-usapan yun dahil may in and out yun eh. Nagpa-plus yun eh. Di ba? Pag-usapan na lang natin 1.5 billion inflows. Parang hindi pa rin ma-justify yun under any circumstance eh. Yung 1.5 billion in inflows into her account. Kasi ano ba siya? She was vice mayor, vice president, mayor, lawyer. Yung mga negosyo nakalista doon, hindi naman kumikita. So how in the world will we be able to explain to the nation paano nangyari na may 1.5 billion na pumasok dyan sa accounts na yan? Kung yan lang yung mga legitimate na makita po ninyo over the course of 20 years. Parang mahirap yung ipaliwanag. Di ba?
Yung SALN records niya po where she did not declare any cash or any cash in hand in
Bank
cash in
deposits.
banks. I've never filed a SALN, so I can only go by what I've seen. Is this something unusual?
It's unusual kasi supposedly it's actually ang paliwanag nila kanina kasama daw sa others pero
Kasama sa
nakakatawa
others?
yun eh. Kasi ang totoo, doon pong personal properties, kadalasan yung unang line item doon yung cash eh.
Yeah.
Pangalawang line item po doon yung cash deposit. Kasi pagka personal properties, yun naman yung kadalasan kasi yun yung most liquid asset eh. Di ba? Yung cash on hand. So parang mas malamang in all of the salons of everyone else, yan ho yung unang dalawang line item sa personal property. So it doesn't make sense yung sinasabi nilang commingled daw po sa others. No? Pero we will see, hindi ba? Kung ano ho yung itsura nun. Kasi nga, parang masyadong yan, pagpapalusot na ng abogado yung ganun.
But is it possible, again, we're not lawyers here, is it possible that an argument can be made na somebody made a mistake in preparing the Vice President's SALN? Kasi parang, how believable is it for anybody not to have any cash on hand or cash in banks?
I don't wanna talk about that. You know why? Because they stated already na naka-lump daw po sa others. So we will have to hook them onto what they stated in the press conference today.
Yeah. But
Di ba? Pero
the other
Yeah.
angle there, Congressman, is of course there's legal precedent, right? 2012 Supreme Court Chief Justice Renato Corona was impeached for failing to disclose assets in his SALN. In 2018, si Chief Justice Sereno was removed by quo warranto petition also for
Again,
SALN issues, for misdeclarations in her SALN issues.
Oh, for failing to file when she was a professor in UP.
Yeah.
yeah, ngayon no, actually yung visa po nung testimonya po ni Senator Trillanes when we go to trial, actually, he has a list of the bank accounts of the Vice President. No? Ito yung hindi naipakita po yesterday. So, yung sa 2019 to 2024, pagka wala akong cash declared doon, we will check. We will open the bank accounts in trial. Pagka meron hong nakalagay doon ng mga kahit piso na average balance, cash balance doon po sa mga accounts po na yun over those particular periods.
Yeah.
Tapos po yung usapan.
A breaking story.
yun ang tanong ko kanina, Kong. Yung mga iba pang hindi natalakay kahapon, yung ba ay pwede pa rin talakayin sa next hearing? Yung mga hindi na pa na
May mga loose
naipresenta
ends. Oo.
ni Senator Trillanes, yung ba ay pwede pang pag-usapan sa next hearing?
Yeah. Sorry, Kong, before you answer that, I just have to break some news. The ICC judges have confirmed the charges in the Crimes Against Humanity case against former President Rodrigo Duterte, and which means the
It goes to
case
trial.
will now proceed to full trial. Sorry, I just had to
Yes.
break that very quickly. Please go ahead in answering Ronald's question.
Tingin ko we will focus on, firstly, resolving the BIR question, no? And secondly, yung sa threat against the President. Kasi, mabababa lang naman yung threshold for probable cause eh. Tingin ko po, kahit like what I stated kanina, overwhelmingly, yung po nga pagpapakita ng probable cause yesterday on unexplained wealth. No? So, siguro ho, yung mga loose ends, basta relevant doon sa unexplained wealth, sa trial na lang po namin, and sa articles of impeachment po namin ipapasok.
So at this point, is it fair to say that the strongest case seems to be the unexplained wealth, the mismatch between the SALN and the financial transactions?
Tingin ko yan na po yung pinakamabigat. No? Actually, almost of equal weight din siyempre yung confidential funds misuse kasi clear din po yung basis po nung nung finding po doon. Pero ito talaga, mabigat po yan kasi nakakalula ho talaga yung bilang. Nung pong 6.7 billion total transactions, 1.5 billion inflows. Actually, kahit palitin pa natin yung investment-related activity, 200 to 300 million yung pinag-uusapan. So, at any lens na pag-usapan ho natin, sobrang layo pa rin ho nun sa 88 million po na fixed target na present net worth.
What about the fact that was it served on the board or was director of a company whilst she was a public official?
Side issues na lang ho yun. Siyempre, may ibang, may ibang problema po yun. Kasi nga, supposedly, nag-divest siya. Diyan po sa kumpanya na yan, di ba? While she was, while serving as vice president. Tapos siyempre, meron din yung issue na she said na stockholder siya, pero when we check the the GIS of the company, hindi naman siya nakalista doon, di ba? So parang she probably perjured herself there or the company perjured. Pero side issues na lang po yan eh. Ang talaga naman pong naipakita kahapon, convincingly, merong sobrang perang malaki. Tapos ito lang ho yung actual na makita nila bilang mag-asawa at yung kanila pong mga kumpanya.
Do you foresee needing to, at some point, subpoena the bank records? Because that's a little bit legally contentious, hindi po ba? So do you think you'll need those records to make the case for this, to make probable cause established?
No, I think we will get to that point in trial na po.
It's a trial na. You have enough. You have enough material, you think?
So I think, for example, Senator Trillanes naman has the bank account numbers. So we can do a random subpoena request para dun sa mga accounts po na yun, para makita namin yung kung talaga nga bang within the 2019 and 2024 periods, wala ba talagang pera dun sa mga bangko na yun.
Feeling ko you're
We will
gonna...
do that in trial, I'm sure.
Oh, so wait for that in trial, not at this not at this part of the process. Okay?
Kung pwede mo na bang sabihin, indicatively, kailan magbobotohan sa plenary?
Yung plenary, hindi ko pa masabi. Pero ang previous kong sinabi is like end of May or middle of May. Tingin ko we can do it early to middle of May. Kasi magbobotohan na po sa next week for probable cause.
Next week na.
After the 29th hearing.
I think, kasi tingin ko maigsi lang naman po yung sa threats against the president. Isasalang lang ho na maigsi yung NBI kung kumusta ho yung investigation nila. And obviously, yung pong evidence on threats against the president is, clear for everyone. It was a video press conference, hindi ba? And we had seen the threat. So, I don't think we need to belabor the point.
So you think immediately after the hearing on the 29th, you should be able to put it to a vote?
I think in the afternoon of the 29th, there will be a vote on probable cause.
Okay. We'll monitor that closely again, of course. But we'll leave that there. Thanks so much for taking time out for us today. We know it's been a very long week for you, but thank you so much, Congressman Terry Ridon,
Thank you,
House
sir.
Justice Committee member.
Thank you. Magandang hapon.